Wassup YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed ready to deliver you our Week 1 battle here in the PFL Minor League against Ulises and the Rainy Disasters. And I apologize if this video is a bit shaky and whatnot, but the person I normally have who records my battle videos for me and sends me the files, since I don't have a capture card, being Casey and our good friend Casey over at Infraready, his capture card recently broke, so while we're waiting on him getting it fixed, I'm going to have to record my battles for the PFL on my iPad on the YouTube Capture app. Shout out to the app. It's easily the best one of the bunch in my personal opinion. It's very, very effective in recording things on the go. So, and with great quality. I think the quality on these videos is actually really, really nice. So this is the best quality I could find out of everything I could record with in my room. So we're going to go with it. So as you can see, from our team builder, we brought Thunderous Incarnate, Megalopunny, Kyurem Black, Trevenant, Swampert, and Magmortar. As our opponent, Ulises, brought the Heracross, the Mega Swampert, Musharna, Magneton, Politoed, and Cloyster. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn on the music so you guys potentially can hear it. And I'm going to press play. And let the battle go on as is. So he actually leads with Shelmantha, which is going to be his Cloyster, as I lead with Thor at my Thundurus. Now at this point, I see no reason not to click Thunder. I don't see him going out into the... I still have the 3D on at all? Yeah, I do. Let me turn that off. I don't see him going out into the Swampert to start off. So I did just go for the Thunder right off the bat. I saw no reason not to. I do lose some HP for my life over. I learned from that Thunder damage that the Magneton is fully specially defensive. So I figure I can go out into Spook Tree here and have no worries about taking this thing on. He goes for a Magnet Rise, predicting a potential Earthquake, which was a good move on his part, predicting me to bring in Swampert, whatever. He goes for the T-Wave on my Trevenant, which doesn't really matter because I do have Natural Cure, so I can swap out and get rid of it. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, just in case he decides to switch, but also for residual damage on the Magneton, which would be really useful in the long run. He goes for the Flash Cannon, just trying to get damage on us. It's going to do a decent amount because we're not especially defensive, we are physically defensive, and he is going to get the full power on us in the first turn, which does kind of suck. But it's not too big of a deal, because Trevenant has a lot of longevity in this matchup. So we'll see what happens. He does go for another Flash Cannon here, getting off another big hit of damage. Brings down 60 HP, but we are going to get our Drain Punch off this time, which is going to do a sizable chunk to the Magneton, and bring us back up. With our leftovers and Drain Punch recovery, we're going to get up to about 90, 92, 93 HP. 94, there we are. As with the burn, he's going to live on like 1 HP, like 1 or 2 HP. He decides to save this thing probably for Death Fodder later on, as he does go out into the Heracross here. Now, I felt 100% that this thing was... Now, I decided to swap here as well. I swapped out into my Swampert here. I feel like this... Now, at this point, I'm thinking this thing might be Scarfed. He does go for the knockoff and get rid of my Assault Vest, as I do just go for a counter. I was predicting to go for a close combat, but he didn't. But I knocked this thing down really low with the counter. As now he's going to swap, so I'm definitely thinking he's Scarfed at this point because he swapped after the knockoff. I do just go for a Scald regardless. Anything's going to take damage from it. As he does bring in Musharna, which eats it up, because Musharna's just chubby as all fuck. But Musharna's kind of an issue. Could have Energy Ball, but at this point I felt Black Lagoon was expendable. So I go for another Scald, trying to get a burn on this thing as he starts setting up Calm Minds. And I, at this point, pretty much shit my pants. Like, essentially, pretty much shit my pants. Because I was scared. But he's going to get some more leftover recovery. At this point, I look through my team and, like, what can handle this thing? So at this point, I swap out into Wall Breaker, our Kyurem Black, because Wall Breaker is the only thing that can handle this thing. Even if it's Bull Max Defense, Outrage, 2-hit KOs, Musharna, 100% of the time. He goes for his second Calm Mind, and I'm like, shit, well... I looked at it, the most damaging move he can do to me, for the most part, is probably Psychic, which did about 56 to 66%, so I could take one and guaranteed kill it, because I am Scarfed, and I'm going to outspeed this thing every time of the day. So I do just go straight for the Outrage. I have no reason not to. swat that big old paw. Bam. Look at that damage. That's bold max defense Musharna for sure. But that damage just proves it right there. But that's insanity. He does decide to heal Bell for whatever reason to heal the burn off of his Magneton. I don't understand why he made that play. It was kind of silly because Magneton was pretty much dead anyway. Most of my team outsped it, but regardless, he made the play. He does decide to sack off his Magneton here to the last outrage, which is fine. So Kyurem does get the first kill of the matchup on the Magneton, which is kind of cool. But I am going to get confused, which kind of sucks. As he does decide now to go out into his Shelmantha. He feels like with the confusion he can get a free chance to Shell Smash. I don't really want to give him that opportunity, so I do go out into Thor. He's going to Shell Smash 100%, I know that. And I know that I need somebody who's going to be expendable. And if there's anybody on my team who is expendable, it is Thor. Because he's very frail. But he's the only one who can stop this thing from doing what it's about to start doing. So I go out into Thor here as he Shell Smashes, and then I go for the T-Wave. Hitting the T-Wave on this thing was super important so that it can no longer outspeed things, which is great. He's going to break through the paralysis, though. He's going to get the Icicle Spear off, and that's going to absolutely demolish Thor. And Thor's going to go down here. But that's totally fine. It's totally fine. Chun-Li's going to come in here, because Chun-Li's my best response now to this thing, since it is now paralyzed. I'm going to Mega Evolve here and literally just click Fake Out. I'm just clicking Fake Out 100% just so I can get my Mega off 100% and get my stat boost. It's going to do a crazy big amount of damage because he is at -1 in defense, I think. I believe it's -1 or -2, I'm not sure. He is going to go to the Musharna here, though. Musharna's going to take this high jump kick like a champion. Completely. But at this point, even with the leftovers, I didn't want to chance missing a high jump kick and having it kill me. So I do just go for an Ice Punch here. Ice Punch is guaranteed to kill it at this point. And the HP bar fell so slow, but it pulled it off, so that's great. He now goes into the Heracross, and that guarantees me that he's Scarf. No reason to go onto a Heracross against a Mega Lopunny if it's not Scarf. So I switch out into Spook Tree, predicting the close combat to come through, as lo and behold, it does. Which is huge for me because now he's Scarfed in the close combat and he can't do anything to my Trevenant. So he has to swap, so I get a free Horn Leech on anything. Horn Leech at this point kills the Heracross, so I do just go for Horn Leech, because he does have 3 Mons remaining weak to Grass-type moves. So Horn Leech was my best move. I do hit the Politoed on the switch with the Horn Leech, and get a huge amount of HP back, as Politoed does set up the rain, which is alright. I'm totally okay with that. Politoed goes for Hypnosis and misses, which is really, really painful for him. That really, really sucks because Hypnosis would have been a huge issue there. I go for another Horn Leech. I do outspeed this thing, and I'm able to hit it again. This thing's definitely max physically defensive Toad. This turn he's actually able to hit me with the Hypnosis, which kind of sucks, but whatever. I'm going to take a turn of sleep immediately right there, but that's not a huge deal. Because at this point, he's going to swap out. I predicted him to swap in Swampert, thinking he'd get a free turn there with the sleep. So he's going to go on to his Swampert, as I'm going to switch out into my Kyurem Black. I knew that the Swampert was coming in, so I got into Kyurem Black. Now, this is something I didn't think about in the battle, but Terravolt is basically Mold Breaker, which will nullify his Swift Swim. So I do just click HP Grass here. I know in my head that I can beat it 100%. So I fire off an HP Grass. Bam. That's over half. That's great. He's going to go for a Power Punch, which would have been really scary if he did have Swift Swim right now. But since he technically doesn't have Swift Swim because of the Mold Breaker-ish Terravolt, I am just able to fire off another HP Grass, and down goes the Mega Swampert. Which was huge. This is a huge turning point in the matchup, because at that point, that was his biggest offensive threat remaining that he could do anything with. So he goes out into Heracross again, and I know still in my head, this thing's Scarfed, it's going for close combat. I would outspeed it, but HP Grass would not kill from there. So I do just, again, do the safe switch, go out into Spook Tree. At this point, I again just click Horn Leech. Literally just click Horn Leech. No reason not to. As he's going to go out into Shelmantha. He's going to take the Horn Leech kind of nicely since it's back up in its defenses. but again, it's not going to really matter all that much. He's going to go for an Ice Shard here. I'm physically defensive, so I know I can take that for days. No worries, as I'm just going to Horn Leech and take out the Cloyster. Now, I calced how much a knockoff would do from the Heracross. I knew it was Scarf, so I calculated for Adamant, Scarf, and I knew I could live one from the range that I was at. So if he were to go into the Heracross here, I knew I could live one, I can just kill it off. But he does go onto the Politoed, which is kind of okay, because I know I can take the Politoed out, no problem, with any move on my set. But he does decide to go for an Ice Beam here. He reveals the Ice Beam, which does a huge chunk of damage to me. I still bulk it because I'm really, really fat, but does a huge chunk of damage as I go for the Horn Leech and take it out. But at the range of HP that I am after the Horn Leech plus the leftovers, I am not able to live a knockoff from the Heracross. But since I know this, since I was able to calc and know this, I'm obviously not going to stay in on the Heracross because that'd be silly. So I do just swap out into Mega Lopunny, because I know he has to go for a knockoff. He can't go for close combat staring at a Trevenant. He'd have to go for either Mega Horn or knockoff, lock himself into one of those. Mega Lopunny swallows that entirely, and I do just click Fake Out to get the W in our Week 1 match in the PFL Minor League. The 5-0 victory over the Reigning Disasters. We will be facing Ulises later in the season. He is in our division, so we will be facing him later in the season. Hopefully we can pull out the same kind of win then, but we're going to focus now on next week against Joseph and the Pittsburgh Gladios. So that's going to be a fun match as well, but until then, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.